Kim obviously just made the announcement that you dismissed Ruby from the team. Just what went into that decision for you?
We have standards in this program, and it's a sad situation. It's a difficult situation. I feel bad for this current team that we have, and time will tell if it's the right choice for this team, but I have no doubt that it's the right choice for the team 4 or 5 years from now.
What was the response from the team when you told them?
We have 4 practices to get ready to go to NC State, and that's what we're focused on.
How difficult was that decision? I mean, I know that's not one you took lightly at all.
Yeah, it's just a sad situation.
NC State brought in a pretty highly regarded transfer. You guys are familiar with Camille. She had some pretty good games last year against you guys. Just what makes her so difficult to contain?
She's a beast of an athlete. I'm very disappointed we have to play her again. She can score from all 3 levels. She can run. She's a big that can play at our pace, and we've watched a lot of clips of our failure to guard her last season, and we fouled her at the rim. We couldn't stop her at the elbow. We couldn't stop her on the 3-point line. We couldn't stop her in transition. So we've watched those clips, and hopefully we can show improvement.
As a team, what stands out about NC State right now?
They're balanced. It's just interesting because they're new, we're new. They lost 2 really dominant guards last year, but they reloaded. They still have talent. We lost a lot last year, but we still have talent. It's interesting your first game of the year because you think you know, but you don't really know. There's no film, you haven't seen anything, you've seen some box scores. And so it will be a lot of learning on the fly for probably both teams.
What do you like or don't like about starting with a top 10 opponent versus maybe a schedule like last year where you had a little bit of easier way in?
I think the only thing that is good about it, it really locks you in right now. Your level of focus, your level of prep. They know that they have to be on their A game. They can't take anything for granted. They know that if they don't fix the things we have been talking about, it's going to cost them game 1.
When you got to break down the film from the exhibition, was there anything that, you really started to emphasize to the team, leading up to this game that you want cleaned up or, it's going to cost you?
Yeah, I think our turnovers were really bad, and that is one thing that concerns me. I don't think that has been fixed in practice, so we have 2 practices left to fix our turnovers. There was quite a bit. I thought fouls was going to be one, but getting back in transition was one where they didn't necessarily capitalize, but that NC State will. Those 2 things were probably the most eye-opening. We gave up 14 offensive rebounds. That's alarming. We did a pretty good job on the glass, but we should have done a good job on the glass because we had the size. But those things right there, and plus the fouls, because I think that will come into play, are going to be really what this game comes down to, because it's both of our first games.
Coach, when a player is out for any reason, unavailable, other players have to step up. Who do you see in this situation that can help with the loss of Ruby?
Yeah, we didn't talk a whole lot about Ruby. We talked about who's going to step up, who's going to do what, and we went around the room and everyone said something. She's not a player that one player can step up and replace in a matter of a day. So everyone is going to have to give us more. We're going to have to get more out of our scorers. We're going to have to get more out of our role players. We're going to have more leadership. We're just going to have more from everyone, and it's going to be by committee.
Anything that impressed you about kind of the urgency for those players to step up and fill that role?
Yeah, I think Denia has done a really good job of really stepping up and being more aggressive in practice. That's been good to see.
When you're talking about the turnovers from the exhibition, I think there were about 18 turnovers. Would you say that they were like carelessness with the ball, bad passing? What was the trend you were noticing?
Yeah, I think carelessness, bad passing, probably fatigue of not knowing when to slow down, when to speed up. We've tried to work on that a lot. Again, it's not necessarily getting fixed on the practice floor, so just playing with a sense of urgency, because if we're not turning the ball over, we're usually pretty efficient on the offensive end in practice. So just making sure that we have a sense of urgency to take care of the basketball, make the extra play, not try to do too much, slow down a little bit. And I think that's a problem that we will have for probably a month and a half, because we have 8 new ones in the pace of play. They just try to go 100% all the time when we got to know when to go fast and when to go slow.
Is that a little bit of like miscommunication too? Like you have the right play, but maybe like the head's not getting turned around fast enough?
Yeah, you have the right play and you're not taking the extra bounce, or you're not playing off 2 feet, or you didn't call the name, or somebody doesn't quite necessarily know what you want yet, because again, we're not trying to get 6 players to work well together. We're trying to get 10, 11.
How hard is it to get a team ready for the physicality you'll face against NC State in that opening game?
I think the biggest key to that is we need to be physical without fouling. I don't think we're going to have a problem being physical. I think we're going to have a problem being physical legally, and that's just a discipline piece that we're going to have to try to learn quickly.
Janiyah has mentioned that she really gets to play free here under your reign, under your program for kind of the first time in her college experience. What does that look like in real time when you see these transfers come in and they start to realize just how free they can play under you?
It's just typical, like it would be with a freshman. They have to unlearn, and then they kind of see it and it clicks. And it hasn't clicked for all of our new ones yet. I don't know that it will yet until we get a couple games under our belt.
What's kind of the coolest part about that process, them seeing them get to kind of come into their own and play free?
I think for transfers, my favorite part is when you can see them have fun on the basketball floor during game days. They don't have to play in fear of making a mistake, and they can have fun, they can laugh, they can joke. And we practice so hard, our game days are supposed to be fun days, and when they see that and they see that they can have that freedom, those are my favorite moments.
We didn't talk about Jada a whole ton after the exhibition, but I thought she looked really good in her debut, and just you could see the potential there. Just what did you like about what she did in that exhibition?
Yeah, I think we needed to do more. She got a little bit frustrated at the end and then started to play really well when she was frustrated, but we needed to do that for 4 quarters.
You mentioned that it will be by committee, but Mia Paldo would seem to be one person that could really step up at this point. I mean, she's already stepping up. Is she someone you would need even more from now?
Yeah, and I think we need to get more out of her anyway, just more of a leadership role. She has a good basketball IQ. She has the ball in her hands. Point guard's a very difficult position to play for me. And the quicker that she can step up and learn and come in every day like she is a senior and like this is her last year with that mindset, with that sense of urgency, with that level of focus, the better this team will be.
You said maybe you wanted a little bit more out of Janiyah Barker, not the shed bag game, but you just want to see a little bit more out of her after the exhibition game. How have you maybe seen her adjusting in practice, trying to get to that
I think she's going really hard in practice. She's getting tired in practice. She's working hard. She's doing a good job of playing through mistakes, next play mentality, and she's hopefully starting to turn it on at the right time.
After the exhibition, you mentioned that Jersey and Nia were 2 people who worked well on the court together. Is there any other duo that you've really seen emerge that you like on the court together at the same time?
We're still working on that. That is something we kind of have 4 days now to really go back and rework, and so our backs are against the wall in that of just trying to find the right combinations in a short amount of time. Janiyah and Jersey do play very well together. It was not something that I would have guessed until I saw it.
Is there kind of a point in the season where you feel like you've solidified those combos on the court historically, or is it just fluid throughout the whole year?
Late December. So again, it takes time. Another combo that I have high hopes for are Coop and Z. I really just hope that they can play really well off of each other.
How do you feel about this team's half-court defense going into NC State?
You know, that's one thing we didn't really get to see in the exhibition, and I understand they wanted to play fast. It was a fast game. It was something that we really did not really get to look at. And then, you go against your practice guys and they're fast, they're strong, and so then you just kind of wonder. We're having conversations today about slowing our practice guys down so we can see. We have moments where we look really good. We have moments where we look like, wow, we can be special in the half court. And then we have a lot of moments where we look undisciplined and we've never heard the word help side in our life. And it's about doing it when you're tired. It's about doing it in the full court. I think if we would just sit in the half court, I think we'd be all right. But you have to do it with the space and pace that we want to play at.
Where are you seeing the breakdowns in the transition defense for them the most?
Getting back. Just getting back. We want to crash, and sometimes we don't have somebody calling back and getting back. NC State can go, they're going to launch it in transition if we don't, so we've been working on that.
Alyssa Latham is another player that doesn't always get a lot of attention, but it seems like she always plays effective minutes. Just how key is Alyssa going forward?
Alyssa's huge. She's been huge. She had a really good offseason. I would say she probably had the best offseason of anyone. She stayed here, she worked, and she got better, and she's rebounding better. She put on muscle mass. She is moving better. She's shooting better. So she's one that we had already kind of anticipated that she's going to be bigger than she was last year.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.